So, that being the case, one more time with the feeling. Good evening, everybody. How are we holding up?
I'm doing great.
It's good.
Good.
Um,
What you want, huh?
I know it doesn't need to be said. I know that you guys are probably getting tired of me expressing just how much I enjoy your skills and time, but I do. And so, as long as I do, as immortally as I do, thank you all so very much for being here. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, the Dark of Bethany. And we are exactly at hard start for this particular episode, which is entitled Shedding Precious Blood. Since the beginning of our play with this coterie, since the very moment one of us coming into the realization that these characters have lives and existences out there in the middle of Bethany, since we came to the understanding that the world they inhabit, at least this corner of it, is an untold vista of depths skimming along the surface and being embroiled and enmeshed in the full darkness of the world in which they inhabit. For the first time in quite some time, the shadowy, gray, nebulous world around them, the space all about them, holds no umber. It holds no darkness. It holds no secrets they can't see. For the first time in the existence of this coterie, in the episodic adventures of their immortality, the world is a bright, shiny, jubilantly lit place.
You fucker.
The building, which was and is Joji's haven, completely enmeshed, completely awash. It is a beacon that you can see from miles away. The only thing brighter than the building, which is immediately to the rear of the coterie, is the grass and the air being parboiled from the kerosene spouting from the recently planted sprinkler system and the tank hidden just a few feet beneath the surface. The grass erupting in a forest of flames, each blade lit and glowing nearly white hot, and the building filled with so many loved and cared after shellacked, polished, and veneered surfaces. A lovely, almost green, dancing flame. All of this to say, would each kindred be so kind as to roll your willpower versus a DC of 3? Because unlike every other implement of death, guns, knives, razor blades, Lego blocks, fire can actually 100% in their existence, and in the core of their being is a monster designed and focused on their selfish continuation of their half-life immortality.
Nope. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Uh, is this
You
damaged
no, but
willpower
can you roll for
or
Maddie?
just?
No, your total willpower, actually.
Oh, total.
Yes, your total willpower.
Let me me just go ahead and. Yeah, no, that is 4 failures. Ah! And what's Maddie's total willpower?
I'm looking that up now.
Okay, okay.
I don't keep the character sheets open or bother to look at them 10 times out of 10. I trust whatever you guys say, but so it takes me a second to dig back through all of the exchanged information and find the actual sheets. And total willpower is 6.
Alrighty. Boop, boop, and we'll just mark it as Maddie. Alright, well, Maddie succeeds.
They are nonplussed.
Oh, I mean, they knew it was going to happen. Of course they're going to be nonplussed.
0.
Here's the funny thing is, there is the very real drive to persist, to continue existing no matter what. There's this selfish focus on getting till the next night, the next evening, to satiate all of one's needs, wants, and annoyances at the heart of every kindred. There's this, the worst thing is, every worst aspect of the kindred individually and monolithically all comes from that selfish need of I. All of the fear, all of the greed, all of the lust, all of those feelings, all of those faint ghosts of emotions come from the idea of I, from the very human drive towards personal, selfish self-interest. And it's backed by the hammer of God. It's backed by Mjolnir. It is backed by this preternatural, invulnerable, unstoppable thing. And in this moment, Joji, Annabelle, the drive of that thing inside you is to escape at all due haste, at all due speed, as far from this immolation of self and world as possible. Everyone knows you can't outrun the devil, but the beast, the monster, the shadow inside of you proudly proclaims, "Hold my fucking beer." And while you two take off, you guys get a choice: east or west.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's the reason why you guys get a choice: east or
which,
west.
Which direction is the fire?
Both ways are away from the two sources of fire encroaching on your space.
you know,
East or west.
I run towards the sunset. Not the
you know,
sunrise.
all I
go
can
west.
say, Shreveport is to my east, and that is the only part, like instinctually, the only other place instinctually that Joji recognizes as semi-safe haven. The only other place where he's set down roots. So this fire is going to cause him to spread east.
All right. That being the case, as Maddie quirks her lips, well, hell. And India stares at the nuclear holocaust. So well planned, as if you all had been a minute later or a minute sooner, you'd all either be trapped inside of the burning house or well in the middle of the burning lawn. It's a lovely trap. It's a great trap. Too bad it's aimed at you all. And as Lita understands, or is immediately put in mind of those native peoples. Because everyone knows about the Indian mounds and the burial grounds and this, that, and the other, but many of the southern nation of first peoples actually did believe in a pirate end flesh. Many southern nations didn't have burial mounds or burial grounds, they would erect a pyre, and all that that person was, all that that spirit was returned to the spirits of the air, so that once somewhere down, whenever, they might have a chance of returning. They were sent up to the stars so that they could watch over those that came after them or choose to return at their leisure. Now, it's a funny thing to be thinking of as the world around you, even the air, becomes molten lava. But being as academic as Lita is, that's exactly what's on their mind at present. Lita,
Do I notice any
any obvious what
obviously
as far as the
go
fire?
about the fire? Do I notice anything obviously mystical about the fire?
Oh yeah, it actually is green, but that's
green,
because of all of the
or-
shellac and varnish and veneer that Joji applied to maintain and upkeep much of what is actually inside the home. It's a chemical reaction.
Uh,
No. And speaking
so
of
not
Joji,
Eldritch. Good to know.
and lesser so of Annabelle, they literally are running in opposite directions away from the flames, which will be consuming you, Maddie, and India very shortly. What is it that you and doing?
What is it that I am doing?
Joe, Lita, and India, and Maddie, what is it that you all are doing?
Oh, okay. Well, Maddie wasn't too far onto the property to begin with whenever this fire started. She had just approached and spoke a little bit before things went south, so she's just gonna kind of, smelling the propellant on herself, uh, very briskly and quickly make her way out of the range of these sprinklers and back to her vehicle.
So she pulls the fuck this shit I'm out. And while she's doing that, India, Lita, what are you guys doing?
India's gonna drop the gas can because that'd be silly to hold on to it, and head for the front to get away.
No, she's got the rocket jump strategy.
So India's heading east, and Lita. And so Lita's heading east as
I'm gonna
well.
head for the car.
This is shaping up to
That's right.
become something of a habit, isn't it?
Oh.
So, here's the thing. Would each of you, save Joji and Annabelle, who are hauling ass, who are literally carrying extra portions and allotments of ass as they speed as quickly and far as their feet and screams can carry them, would each of you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity and athletics plus insularity, and your target number is a 4.
I don't suppose
You
there's
can
anything
stop,
else I could
drop,
roll.
and then roll.
Dex.
Whereas you can succeed at cost and take 1 level of aggravated damage and roll, or it's the dice for you, my friend. It's the dice for you.
That's not a bad deal. I'm literally rolling with a pool of 2.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Hunger of 4.
The beast will out. The beast will out. So, go ahead and knock that aggravated health level off of your sheet. And when Lita has reached the absolute limit, like it's one thing after another, the world is falling down around her ears. All of her safety measures of establishing mental distance to perceive it or perceive the problems academically and find a solution have evaded her in success. The last holdout of her moment of emotional sobriety has been stripped away from her, torn by somebody else's agency. When in those moments, and that voice, that internal, nonstop voice, is nettling her, she expressed that Lita, when in doubt and everything's going to
Yes.
going tits up, what is Lita's attempt at gaining emotional sobriety back? Or does she turn into the skid? Does she rage when there is absolutely no safe haven from the pressures of the world? What does she do? What does she feel as her skid is cooked?
Oh, damn it. I think she's in a lot of pain and not loving it. So she's probably pretty annoyed.
It is annoying being, being given a first-hand tutorial as to what it would be like to be trapped inside of a crematorium. Again, luckily for each of the kindred, they don't actually breathe. Luckily for the kindred, that while many of them affect breathing and have it as a matter of habit, a matter of cause, they don't need to. Otherwise, the pain of inhaling all of that accelerant, the pain of inhaling all of that heat would not only leave scar tissue in the long run, but in the short run, it's nothing like having a full lung of black, acrid smoke that was formerly your skin. And while Lita makes her way out, her beating herself, trying to stomp the flames out, doing her best to control that inner voice, that inner panic, India literally beats feet, escaping east as the flames lick at where she once was. And Maddie, nonplussed, and as annoyed as you would be when being doused by a child with a water gun, smacks the flames off, non-committally. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to get Mara Janes. She saunters towards her vehicle. While a quarter of a block away, as the speed and impetus begin to fall off, as the darkness that is, in fact, the entirety of Bethany. Because one of the many things about the dark of Bethany is Bethany itself. There aren't the usual allotment and assortment of street lamps and street lights and passing cars and well-lit homes. Bethany, for lack of a better word, is literally out in the middle of nowhere. It sits as the dividing line between civilization and the wilds that were formerly the great southern spaces of the United States. And in a lot of ways, it exactly still is that in a lot of ways. Namely so, because even as well traveled and well accounted as Joji's pawn shop, all the way out there off of 1400 and West Road, it is literally the middle of nowhere. And heading west, roughly a quarter of a plot, places Annabelle in the middle of a field, far enough away from West Road and Elysian Fields cutoff that there's nothing above and overhead except for interspersed cloudy stars. There's nothing to her left except for more and more willowy and skeletal looking trees. The road off there in the distance, just south of where she is, seems as if it's on another planet. Because the lights along the highway are every 200 to 300, sometimes 400 feet, because the municipalities doesn't have that excess. So there are huge swaths of the road that are in fact completely pitch black. Luckily, this one is close enough to the urban centers where instead of it being no light whatsoever, they're just spaced farther and farther apart. It feels like she's alone on the surface of the moon.
That is still better than being on fire. She looks around, sees the glow of the fire in the distance. Just that haze. And she kind of shivers and her eyes start to glow. And she looks around to see exactly how
Here,
she...
just under a quarter of a mile from County Road 1311, just an eighth of a mile from County Road 1400, in the middle of this wide open space. You could not be more alone if you were in a coffin. The breeze gently moving past you, caressing your skin as it dissipates off in the distance, and the glowing tower of light that is the remains of Joji's haven. Because there's no other way to really consider that much fire that quickly, except for there's nothing left but remains. Yeah, you're sure that one of the fire companies in the area will be out sooner rather than later, but what's the chances of doing anything except for soaking down everything that had been preserved and properly stained and treated and well looked after? Even if they save the structure of the building, most of the things inside are just, well,
just gone.
no, it wasn't, was it?
Well, it wasn't my place.
You didn't make the same potential number of enemies. After all, you haven't been with them long. And even as you've been with them just long enough, you are in the middle of nowhere, alone.
I try to remember which direction the nearest shelter would be. Because not only am I alone, but I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere
No,
when
you
the
don't. That's
dawn
not the
comes.
best of places. Being a notable regular of the area, you know that of every other member of the coterie, your place, if you're gauging where you are correctly, and you're pretty sure you are, you're off of West Road, County Road 1311, means that if you go east, well, south, and then back north, and then east, that if you can get a ride, you can catch it over to 431 and circle down and around, and your place should be closer because, Panola Road 7351, where your offices are, is probably a lot closer than anybody else's to where you are now. Where you are now is officially quantified as Elysian Fields. It is an unincorporated municipal area inside of Panola County and directly connected with Panola County and Bethany. But officially, it's Elysian Fields, i.e., paradise.
Found you.
Mm. Um. Fuck. I will start heading east at a pace that could be described as a power walk.
As she
Because
struts her way through the
she's not
woods.
really much of a runner.
You sure she's not a runner? She's not a track star?
Passion. More passion.
She wishes she were a track star at this moment. Because then she might be able to get somewhere in a reasonable amount of time as opposed to this. But one makes two.
Excellent. Would you be so kind as to give me a intelligence plus survival roll and let me know what your results are? Roll as high as you possibly can. And while that roll is happening, as we slide along alphabetically, India, my India, our India, fucking fire. There's no greater easily accessible threat to kindred kind than fucking fire. Even if you're just playing and you're pranking someone, as far as sending the message that you mean business, the only thing better than fire would be showing them a 3D realistic mock-up of the sunrise. Because while you've never seen it happen, you have heard that if the video is of sufficient quality and if the kindred is of sufficient age, that showing a kindred the movie, a video of the sun rising, might have similar effects, causing them to drop temporarily into torpor. You've never seen it happen, but you've heard things. After all, rumors, scuttlebutts, old wives' tales. So as Maddie makes it to her truck and peels out, what is it that you do with you?
India is going to gather the others. So she's waiting for Lita, calling to Joji. Everybody get in the truck. We need to get out of here before the fucking fire truck gets here. We gotta go find Annabelle.
Okay, so would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your charisma plus leadership?
I'm sure I'll turn up eventually.
I wrote that it's still saying sending though.
Sending. Yeah, Disco is being a little less than jiggy with us today.
It's like a disco inferno.
Oh, that was a dad joke.
Thank you.
It just don't want me to do this roll.
It does not.
Fun fact, while we're waiting for this to work, disco inferno means oh shoot, what is it? It's something like I learned hell. Oh shit. It's funnier when you know the joke.
Entirely.
I'm good at this.
All right. So those of you who are resisting, and unfortunately, Joji, you don't get a choice in this. You need to roll your resolve plus your bane versus that result. Lita, you do get a choice. You manage to keep your worst instincts, your worst version of yourself, from coming to the fore. You manage to keep a relative level head as your world faced its own apocalypse. So as India begins mustering and mastering you all together, getting you all issuing orders and seizing the leadership of this moment, is there anything you offer? Is there anything you deny? Do you say, you know what, every man for themselves, or not? And Joji, would you like to spend your willpower to keep yourself from continuing to run for a turn?
What? I've already. What do you mean spend a willpower?
You literally would lose
Oh, to
one.
maintain control of myself for a turn.
Yes.
Honestly, like, it, yeah, fuck it. Joji is a man of grit and resolve, even if he can't keep his shit together visibly.
Like this. We like this chaos and digging deep, because that's literally what it is. You, Joji, are facing the apocalypse, both internally and externally, because unfortunately, as removed from humanity as the kindred are, they still start with the very idea of what it means to be human. They all start human, they all die human. And so, underneath all of those alien ideologies and thoughts is the very real human. Fuck, that's where I keep my shit.
Yeah. Just running along as fast as he can, his arm, his wrist, not exactly looking too well. The chain having not been fully properly removed by the time that the fire started, he sprinted off in a frenzy, and there's now visible damage to it, even though it doesn't necessarily hinder his kindred constitution. It just takes a moment as he's running and he hears India calling for him, and just the desire to retrieve something calling through the absolute frantic, almost cacophony of instincts, even though it's illogical, even though it's impossible, even just that thought alone, that everything that he has, and in his mind, everything that he is, now that his sire is gone, is just burning. Giving him a moment of pause as he just kind of slowly comes to a stop. The bleeding off momentum kind of step thing. How do I let's see if I got a gift to describe it.
Decelerating. That's what he's doing. He's fighting for control of himself and not giving himself to trying to just slam on the brakes and go ass over kettle when he comes to a stop. His momentum carrying him into a sprawl. So he's decelerating and maintaining or gaining some semblance of control, some semblance of fight against all of that depressive darkness that threatens. It's funny, as dark as the night is, the source of light, the visible brightness in all of the darkness, is the fire that is eating away much of his existence and past. So India, getting to the truck, Lita trundling in. It's clear that Joji's speed is nothing to be underestimated. He has cleared a record amount of distance, having moved east, heading towards Shreveport. He's very nearly all the way to 2nd Avenue. He's run between the buildings across the lot. He's crossed the driveway. He is nearly all the way to 2nd Avenue. Unfortunately, and fortunately for you all, 2nd Avenue is still, under a quarter of a mile away, but it's far enough away that you see him. And if only he could have used that speed to play with your brother, or your brother wouldn't have gotten a scholarship, your brother wouldn't have signed up for the army, your brother wouldn't have went off into the forces. If someone could have been that much faster than your brother, he wouldn't have come to the recruiter's attention. He wouldn't have been there for the parade that all of the boys and girls who sign away their lives for 3, 5, 16 years. If only someone could have been that fast the year your brother graduated. He wouldn't have been the star athlete. He wouldn't have been the hometown hero that all of the recruiters went chasing after.
And shakes her head for a minute. Fuck. Why am I thinking about that now? Oh, I gotta go get him. And then we'll loop back around. And she pulls away from the driveway and heads towards Joji.
And then she just take off across the empty space, across the distance, or she try to head down the street. The reason why I ask.
Probably stay on the street.
He's by the streets.
And the reason why I ask, when crossing that distance, when making up, because moving across the field gives you a clear shot towards him, and it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It also brings up the very real fact that officially, Joji's shop is just over 3/4 of a mile from the Elysian Fields Fire Department. Now, the problem with that, as everyone who lives in the area knows, there's no Elysian Fields Fire Department. It is just Jake who runs the auto supply parts store just north of the Dollar General, who has his place registered as a fire department on Facebook. The Elysian Fields Fire Department is actually nothing more than Jake's 3 fire extinguishers and him copywriting the Elysian Fields Fire Department. The closest fire fire department nearest to Joji's shop, unfortunately, is all the way down in DeBerry, which is, even under the best of circumstances, roughly about 26 minutes in a straight shot, no traffic, and they had left 5 minutes ago. Closest actual fire department is Carthage. There's a fire department in Marshall and in Scottsville, but you're still equidistant from them being able to reach Joji's shop within any time to be of actual effect.
Gotta love that.
So you get the opportunity of watching the timbers crack and smolder, and with whoever set the trap, because it very much was and is a trap. Someone purposefully, one, Joji didn't have a sprinkler system. 2, Joji has been uber careful with, like all kindred, when it comes to accelerants and propellants. The entirety of his building, the entirety of his property, the sprinkler system filled not with water, with kerosene. Whoever set the trap knew exactly what they were doing. They were familiar enough with the environment and the time they had that they laid what was the perfect trap to literally burn down everything Joji.
Well,
But not
well.
Joji.
Well, he's supposed to be in Shreveport.
Just all of his stuff.
If not for Lucky and many of the anarchs of Shreveport, he's supposed to be in Shreveport. Just like you all. Speaking of which, just like you all, as you catch up to Joji, there is an uncomfortable thought that settles in. Was he the only one? Was Joji the only target of whoever did this?
He better be.
Well, it's not like you all live by yourselves or only have to worry about your property inside of whatever space your havens are in, right? It's not like you guys have private farms and estates or office buildings out in the middle of nowhere away from everybody else, right?
Right? That is correct. We don't.
So
India's gonna call home, but she's gonna call the farmhand, not the main house number.
I assume the brief amount of control that Joji had as he just turns back and watches the loud crack of wood and sees a section of the building fucking fall in on itself. I assume that's just about as much time as he had, and with India calling her family, unfortunately, the fear takes back over as he sees that small demolition of his home.
She would have stopped and put the door open so that he can get in.
Now you've got a kindred freaking out in your passenger seat.
You can just run him over.
Yeah, you can run me over. Do it.
Think about it. If he's in torpor, he can't run away.
My body's chrome. My blood's gasoline. You right. My blood's
No,
kerosene.
it's kerosene.
Lita. What's Lita's intelligence?
Yes.
And what's your wits?
3, I believe.
Okay, so a total of 5. A half of
double
2.5.
check, but I think
Rounded down gives her easy intelligence and understanding and awareness that, yeah, there's no fucking way that watching everything that you are or everything that you had been up until that point cease to be would put anyone in the most cognizant of moves and places. When India tosses open her door to get him inside, does Lita sit idly by and allow as close she ever had suffer alone? Or does she do something?
You know what? Over his shoulder and give him a pat.
How might she go about doing so?
Carefully.
Carefully.
So do I help Juji get in the car, or
Yes.
is he already in?
So, as the fear and depression swirls together, conflating into its own character, and India sits with her phone to her ear. Southwest of them, and moving south by southeasterly, crossing Route 1311 onto the wrong side of the road and making their way, knowing that, they need to head east. Right? Yeah. East is that way.
Whichever way east is.
7 minutes. In 7 minutes, you can't cover that much distance. Or most people can't, or most people don't. But moving at a decent clip, speed, walk, you find yourself at a small, and I mean absolutely pitifully small, Olympic swimming pool sides, a would-be pond with delusions of grandeur. There's no way that does not trigger
I don't remember
a small bit of
being there.
PTSD. All of that gloriously dark, mirror-like surface, rippling and lapping in time to the considerations of the moon unseen overhead.
Annabelle kind of backs away from the pond, a little bit nervous, but also sort of
No,
at least it wasn't
no,
on
it's not on
fire.
fire.
This is the opposite of on fire,
No,
and
it's not,
that's
isn't
not
it?
so bad, I guess.
You know, or at least you've heard, the Kindred are able to. Wait. They're able to sleep if they
Able to what?
enter into large bodies of water such as that. They're able to forget themselves for years on end if they want. It's just peace inside there.
She wonders if how long the
You know
peace
what they say.
lasts before
There's
the
but
hunger
one way to
comes.
find out.
Well, I don't need to breathe. What could it hurt? She just kind of walks toward the water.
You know what it's like to be touched when you weren't expecting it, when you believed you were alone. You know that even if it's a warm arm,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's a gentle, loving caress, when it comes unbidden and unnoticed, there is a immediate grip on the heart. It skips a beat as your fight and flight kick in both at once, as your mind catastrophizes 1 million different options for what's happening to you. That's stepping into the water.
Fuck.
She feels fingers slowly beginning to move up her calves, over her knees, up and up, and they're warm. Unlike the water, water itself has a temperature somewhere just above freezing. As early in the season as it is, as dark as the nights have been. And yet, the fingers moving, caressing, gliding up her leg are warm.
Uh, uh, I I just kind of jump and I try to
But okay.
get them off of me.
So as you fight what's there. The phone connects. Hello? Who this?
Jim, is everything okay there?
Nah, there's no one. No, there's no K here.
Stop.
You got the wrong number.
It's India.
Oh, hey, Miss Indy. How are you?
We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here.
Okay, Joji, calm down, baby doll. I'm
We need to
calling.
get out. We need to get out of where? You want me to wake everybody up?
No. I just need you to check and make sure that everything's okay. We ran into some trouble down here, and I just want to make sure it's not
You ran into
people at
trouble.
home. Yeah, I know. Strange.
No, strange. Your father had to bail me out. What happened?
My dad bailed you out? What? I thought I bailed you out. Did you go to jail
No,
again?
you bailed. Somebody had to. They came looking for you.
Who came looking for me?
But no county sheriffs. I told the pendejo that he had the fucking wrong place. He didn't like that very much.
For what?
I, I don't know. What court date did you not go to?
I didn't have no damn
Something
court
about a
date.
warrant.
Oh shit. Okay, I will handle that when I get back. That is absolutely fucking ludicrous. But if you say everything's okay, other than that, then I will take that and be happy about it.
You should. You should. You should be happy. The fucking Hutchinsons are not looking for you.
Why would they be looking for me?
That's what I'm saying. You should be happy that they're not looking for you. They're looking for me. Something about I didn't pay for the barbecue. But they're the ones that went fucking crazy.
Oh, well, stay out of reach of them motherfuckers. I thought they'd be in jail by now.
Some of them are, some of them not. They keep bailing each other out, getting in trouble, and then going back. You know, the things they do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll check back in.
To,
I'll
to,
try to.
to pay for that bill. To pay for their bill, they were digging some ditches, somewhere out west.
What? Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, to pay for their bill, they were doing some real jobs. Took work from me. This guy from Shreveport fucking comes down. He's looking for day labor, and these fuckers try to kick my head in to make sure that they get the job before I do.
No,
Fucking
I'm gonna
assholes.
need you. I know it's tempting, but I'm gonna need you to stay away from anybody from fucking Shreveport right now. They have their own shit going on, and it's getting bad down here.
You're in Shreveport still?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Fucking A. Alright, whatever.
Okay. Well, make sure the horses are eating. And she hangs up. Fuck. Shreveport's up in. She's driving while she's talking to them about what's going on. Shreveport's gone up to Bethany and they're starting shit. And then there's a warrant out for, I believe, my arrest, and there's probably out for somebody else's arrest at the same point because of whatever fucking happened at the carnival. I'm guessing. They're trying to set us up, I think.
It's burning. It's all burning.
She's gonna just like petting his knee. Yeah, it's okay. At least it's not you. We can get more things, but we can't get another Joji.
You don't understand. I can't get any more when she's gone. It's all gone. They took it from me.
We're gonna find out who did that and give them back a little bit of their payback, okay? Would that help?
No.
What do you mean?
It won't help. It won't help. It is not gonna help. It's all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What were you
None of it
saying,
matters.
It's the Tremere,
Really?
obviously.
I mean, I'm all for blaming the motherfuckers for things, but how do we know that for sure?
Who else has enough motive to do it right now?
I mean, Lucky's kind of crazy, but I think he would do things in person like he did earlier, so I don't think it was him true. Shit, I hope you're not correct. Because she came in and stood there and smiled in our faces and didn't say anything. If it was them, fuck.
Why would she? Why would she be there? Why would she be there if no, I don't. It's got to be something, someone else.
And we kind of, she's India's remembering that Annabelle went west, looping around to go hopefully head her off.
Yeah, you are right now treating
I'm so
treating the
easy to
highway
find.
as your runway, just running down.
It's like no, I'm in a lake. I'm not very findable.
So it's somebody in Shreveport. We know that, right? It's got to be, right? There's nobody in Bethany would do this. Nobody in Bethany. Coleman wouldn't. Coleman. I should call Coleman. No, I can't call Coleman because that fucking thing.
What thing?
It's in the fucking phones. It's in the glass. It's in the water. It's everywhere. I can't call anybody.
What if I hold the phone for you? And you don't have to let.
I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. It was. It's fine. It's fine. Coleman will know. Coleman will find me. Nothing happens in Bethany that doesn't get found out by Bethany. Coleman will know. But how do we figure out who did this? I think it was Miguel. It's got to be Miguel. That piece of shit.
We will head in that direction, seeing as how we're already facing that way.
And while things and thoughts are doing what things and thoughts do, crash one into the next. Annabelle, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your resolve plus stamina as high as you can? While that roll is happening, India, as the driver, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your composure plus drive -1? It is.
2 is a lot, right?
Thirds of a complete success. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I think scale and scope needs to be rejiggered to keep that in mind. 2/3, 2 out of 3 means that only 1/3 of the population who would have tried that would have gotten any better. No.
Fine.
Well,
Oh, that's so bad.
Fun fact: Disco Inferno means I learned through suffering.
That
they
minus
get an
one
extra
didn't do
die. They get a +1 because of the complete failure. Alright, so living in the middle of nowhere, there's a certain skill that is developed. Traveling late night dark roads, navigating from one point to the next in places where Google Maps and GPS often fail. So a lot of it is physical landmarks and remembering where the last thing that you saw was located last time you were in a specific area or close to it, and having an idea, an instinctual idea of which way is north, which way is south, just knowing your cardinals without really having to concentrate on it. So you can get close enough to not be completely lost. And if you are lost, to not be lost for completely long enough for bad things to happen that you can't account for. Mendez India drives as if she's drunk, which in Kato and Panola literally means driving straight down the road instead of dodging all of the huge, unkept, broken pavement pieces and potholes and sinkholes and moist spots where your tires leave tracks in the blacktop. In the doing, India veers off the road several times, talking to Joji and Lita and turning back toward the road, and in the doing of driving off the road and veering a little bit more than one should, it is impossible to not see Annabelle there south of the highway, south of the road, fighting tooth and claw, beating off unseen bits that cause the blood to run cold. Each of you have touched the void out there. Each of you have been beset by things from the other side. Each of you carry with you invisible scars of having done battle with forces infernal. And watching Annabelle fight for her very existence triggers all of those moments, all of those brushes, connections with things out there in the dark. So all of that to say, what do?
India is going to drive into the field a little bit and then just like hop out and go running for Annabelle.
Aw.
I suppose I'll follow along. Nothing better to do at this moment. You know, my life is up in flames, so might as well go searching in the field. Couldn't hurt, you know? Worst case scenario, I die out here again. Well, what about you, Lita? What are you up to? You're holding down the. I actually support
I'm
holding down
kind
the
of just
fort.
chilling. I'm just dying for some blood.
India's
So-
the only one who loves us all.
Several things happen at once, as they always do, at the least appreciated moment. Waiting and concentrating and holding themselves inviolably still. To not exert energy or acquire the use of or touching the strength of the beast, that drive, that drive for sustenance that has not stopped screaming several different voices in the back of Lita's mind. Unfortunately, try though they might, there are certain mirrors that can't be removed or shouldn't be removed from the vehicle. Lita, watching the door swing open and slam shut, catches sight of herself in the side view mirror of the driver's side of the vehicle. She didn't mean to look into the mirror. She tried not to. In fact, she was busy saying a Sumerian prayer of strength when that flickering flash of reflected light caught her eye and she looked towards it. In the doing, Lita sees herself ensconced in the raiment of knowledge. Academic robes. She's wearing the platinum mask of leadership. She has a veritable school of acolytes bending her knees, carrying out her search and request for deeper knowledge by day. They're using all manner of resources she does not have access to, being as she lives forever in the dark. They're able to reach out across the ocean. They're able to go visit ancient ruins in South America and ancient Europe. They're able to travel to retrieve and otherwise obtain bits and pieces of knowledge that only further her understanding of this world and everything that comes after. She has the kindred near enough at hand to matter, obeying her edicts, just vibing as she tells them to. She has a library of tomes not seen since the late 14th, maybe 13th century. Things that have been lost and have been lost for eons before. She has access to. There is a shard from the stone volume Book of Nod there before her. Not a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a translation. No, the actual stone tablet page from the original Book of Nod. The black basalt rock upon which it's carved, significant. Because when one's not paying attention when touching that original portion of the Book of Nod, resting your hand against it, you can feel what the temperature was like during the golden epoch, kindred civilization. Before kindreds were supposed to even have a civilization, when they could bend the ear of their Lord, Master, and Creator King, when they could tap into the central fount from which all kindred have sprung. You can feel the weather. You can feel the age. You can feel the power inherent in belief, in fact, melding together through some strange paroxysm of the two. Kindred, all around you, at your whim and your will. And all it requires, standing behind the driver's seat, shifting into gear. You can be at that airport that's flickering through your mind in the next hour, hour and a half. You can feed till your heart bursts, overfilled. You could be safe right now. And that future, that destiny, there for you. All it requires is sliding behind the driver's seat and shifting the truck into gear. The question, however, is does Lita have the bravery necessary to seize her fate, to take her future into her own hands? As we consider that, it is 45 after the hour. Let's take a quick 10. Be back here at 55 after. So thank you, back, Annabelle, right? Alright, so that's two. Just waiting on Lita and India. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Uh-oh. Are you playing a racing game, Annabelle? Oh, wow.
I am not. That's my cat. Yeah, she's purring. So it's sort of like a racing game, but it's like race to pet her ears before she eats my ice cream.
Well, you know, one lesson in brain freeze is usually all it takes.
Not for her. She is not very
No.
bright.
With a single match, we can make you very bright right now.
Mm,
From this world?
tempting, but I'll have to pass. Yes, apparently. I very well might. Um, but, you know, if I do, then I'll finally have peace. That's how it works when you're damned, right?
Close enough. So, when we last left, Lita, there was a decision before you. A choice, an option, a potential. The question becomes, do you seize it?
It's pretty tempting. But I think I've had an experience with these mirror things that I'm not gonna just follow the beckonings of a fantasy I'm seeing.
Fantasy? Who
You
said
believe
anything
hard enough.
about fantasy?
It is, after all, your potential. It is, after all, a future that could be awaiting you. That could be shunted into the present if you simply
It's equal.
Just grab the key.
just the keys. Get behind the wheel of the truck. You can do it. You can do a lot of things, actually. But in the here and now, that's the cost of the price of admission. Speaking of the price of admission, the cost of doing business, the denial of potential, the disconnect of giving in to the wants and not the needs of your present existence. Joji, you and India close on Annabelle, as she is literally fighting tooth and claw against, well, the dark. You've never before seen shadows of water crawling across relatively dry ground. You've never seen shadows of water forming arm after arm after arm, connected to hand after hand, warmly crawling over and attempting to pull Annabelle into all of that gloriously smooth, reflective, shimmering water. What is it that you guys do?
Well, damn.
I was gonna
can
go, you
I
didn't
pull
have
a
to tell me.
flashlight on these fucking things?
3 months ago, you bought this 10,000 lumen flashlight. It was roughly the size of a extra large jar of pomade. It fit perfectly and ergonomically into the palm of your hand. It had a head, the actual bulb of it, just about the size of a $half piece. And you left it on your counter. It is, or it was, above where most people would have their refrigerator, but for you, it was just an additional standing tool drawer. It was the perfect thing. It would light up the night sky. You can see several hectares out into the distance. It cut the darkness, literally like the metaphor of a hot knife through butter. And it's inside your haven right now. It was next to the picture of your Ravnos friend fishing at night. And you were only able to take that picture because of that flashlight. There's a creek. At least there was a creek. No, you don't really know. Everything has gone topsy-turvy.
I see. Then, Joji being the courageous man that he is, fueled by the anger, the impotent rage that he has towards the destruction of everything that he has, is going to take his scrawny, gangly fucking body into this grappling mosh pit and attempt to help bodily Annabelle break free.
The more
This
hands!
is just, no! Get the fuck away from her, you weird spectral bullshit!
And Andy.
There's not much we're talking right now. She's just heading towards her friend, trying to avoid the edge of the water though, and grabbing at Annabelle, helping Joji, and dragging them backwards.
Yeah, internally, all I can think about right now is Batman v Bane. You thought the darkness was your ally. I was born in it, molded by it.
What's wanted while the breakfast? Demand! Oh, you bought it! So, quick mechanical check. India Joji, your strength, please.
Oh, duh, not high enough, too. Oh, that's...
Well, it's gotta be higher than mine.
Neat.
Mine
India
is
3.
1.
I'll tell you this right now. I am
Playing
going to
Gelato
be
tonight?
feistily burning my way through the beast's influence.
So a total of 6, average of 3. You all meet the bounds of the check, though not without effort, though not without struggles and travails. The dark is quite strong. Not as strong as the light, but it is considerably more all-encompassing, especially for the kindred. For the kindred, their world, everything in it, their forever night is literally that, a world, a universe, a multiverse of darkness, compounded by their own hopes, compounded by their own wants, compounded by the conflation of their best, most reliable supporters are also oftentimes their most pressing of enemies. The interesting sadness to it, because the very thing that should and might otherwise provide salvation is often and is usually the very thing that provides slippery slope right into full unbridled damnation. Not now, however. Twice over in the span of a few seconds, the coterie, Annabelle, India, Joji, and Lita, have staved off their own internal darknesses. They've chosen their best selves worded for those choices with a moment of peace, a moment of surcease. All of the everything that has already happened has happened, but in the moment, free of the cloying, clawing darkness of the lake, free of the fraught potential of a future briefly glimpsed, there's a respite moment where the world goes quiet. Fires are far enough from view to not light the entirety of the world around, where the stars overhead, clothed in clouds, shine just bright enough to allow them to see each other, the truck, and not reflect anything back towards them. So alone in the darkness of Bethany, here in the Elysian Fields area of the world, is there anything that you all are discussing while you have a small respite from the chaos of your nights?
Joji just huffing, despite the fact that he doesn't biologically need to. Is just, we gotta find a way to either deal with this thing or deal with this thing. I can't take this anymore.
It's never
And it's going to get
done that before.
worse. It's gonna get so much worse. I don't know that, but I know that. Because everything is just getting worse.
We have a decision to make. We can't go back to my place
It's
or
not.
your place, obviously, or Annabelle's or Lita's, and I don't trust Maddie's, and I don't even know where the fuck she's at. We have to go to a safe place for the rest of the night and figure this out. I don't know whether we should involve my sire or not because I don't know who we can trust. But we need to let her know something. Maybe that not what
Ed,
we're working with the anarchs, but something else. That he burned your place down.
at this point, if if it whoever it was, I'm gonna get rid of them all. And if it was those mere fuck, then their deal can go die in a hole. If you don't want to contact your sire, we can always go to Coleman. I know that they said, or at least I think he's working with them, but Coleman wouldn't betray me. That's
Neither
what
would
I
our friend,
thought
right?
until she stood back and yeah, it's okay. I have still have faith in her because no one is fucking stupid enough to show up to a house they know is about to go fucking disco inferno.
I'd love to say the same, but at the same time, it seems like an alibi to me.
We all got covered in this. He kind of like wipes at the oily, greasy film on his body. We all got covered in this. If she knew what was going to happen, what fucking why would she stand out there just to get sprinkled with accelerant? It's dumb. I don't know. I don't know. We can
Well,
figure that
I'm
out
sure as hell
later. All I
wouldn't.
know is I don't trust the people from Shreveport, and I don't trust anyone that has a vested interest in Shreveport right now.
That's
Which,
fair. Alright, so where's this Coleman person at?
oh, I could show you where at least not his haven per se, but where I know how to get a hold of him.
Alright.
Then let's do that. Let's do that, and let's
Yeah.
get away from this. Like, where's the car? And she just like goes and gets in the car.
Yeah, India catches up with Joji and kind of like pauses him for a minute.
What?
Don't take
sorry.
that tone with me.
What? I said I'm sorry.
Okay. I think I need you to drive. This driving thing hasn't been good for me, and since you know where it is, I'd rather you drive, but I'll sit next to you in the front seat. Maybe focusing on driving will get you focused on something else instead of what you're focusing on.
Okay. 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 I can drive. You don't you don't mind if we drive my speed?
I'd prefer it. That's why I'm asking you to drive.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
She gives him a wink.
Yeah. And he just kind of like
He's like,
looks down, breaking eye contact, and quickly marches off.
Aw.
I guess I'm driving. Woohoo!
I'm gonna need 3 more seatbelts. Just for me, I mean.
It'll be fine.
Famous last words. It will be fine.
Right?
There's nothing quite so painful in the world except for dashed hopes, the expectation, the vainglorious belief that no matter what happens, you will be here to see the next day. That just because the sun will always rise means that you'll be here to see it. Hope is a very dangerous thing. More persons have died from unrealized and unreal expectations of hope than almost anything else. It's the indomitable human drive to survive, the will of humankind comes with a built-in sense of hope. It will be fine if I just keep going. I will not give in. I will not surrender. I will not go quietly into that night. And unfortunately, oftentimes that is the opposite of what happens. Not so in this particular case, as you all make your way clear across Bethany, Panola County to be exact, as you all take Elysian Fields Road north. You pass several well-known landmarks that let you know, oh, okay, well, bogs are over there, that's over there. As you swing north along Don Long and make that left onto Boggs Road and head towards the Candyman's place, the Pet Lodge, the circus, if you will. The Candyman's parties, i.e., Coleman's parties, are the sorts of things that most people could only tolerate once in a lifetime. His hedonism literally knows no bounds, save agency. Consenting adults must consent, lest they are not considered part of the party. And there's nothing wrong with not consenting. There's nothing wrong with having your boundaries. In fact, they support everyone's boundaries. Even if the person who formed the boundaries renegotiates or reconsiders or otherwise thinks that that's not far enough for the fun that they are hoping to have. Coleman's Place, a safe place for animals of all kind, is the motto, because the public-facing portions of the Candyman's place, of Coleman's Place, is in fact a boarding facility for dogs, cats, birds, one or two Gila monsters, and several lizards and snakes of all shapes and varieties. But behind the public-facing aspect, down the one unmarked lane, is the place where consenting adults consent, where all manner of engagements happen, all manner of clothing and articles of clothing are left behind after these parties. Hence the reason for quite a few of Coleman's donations to Joji's place to begin with. Clothing, implements of fun and enjoyment, furniture even, are often left by those who come to party and bring their most curious item or dress, or all number of things have been brought and enjoyed and indulged in. The rumors of the parties are literally the stuff of legend. And for many of you, this is your first time being at the Candyman's place. Joji moves and drives and covers the distance in the blink of an eye and swings into a parking space that seems almost perfectly suited for him. He does so how most people say they could do it with their eyes closed, or they can do it sleep. He manages to swing into the parking slip as if he has done it often enough that he could do it nearly with no hands, and at decent speed.
Alright, so, don't freak out, and don't do anything that can be misconstrued. Just be very
What?
clear in your actions and your words. Oh, and
Can you
don't make eye contact.
what? Be clear about what?
Anyone who might be here tonight.
With who? Oh, Lord.
If you make eye contact, they might get interested, and you don't want them interested. Or you do. Either way, but that's not what I'm here for. Not tonight.
Okay, what kind of kinky party is this?
I don't think there's enough time to list off the exact descriptors. So just keep
I guess
close.
it makes sense
And
because you had handcuffs.
I have several different types of handcuffs. You saw my tame ones.
So, to be clear, we're not supposed
Unless you
to
want to, but you've got
draw
to be
any
be
attention
sure that you want to.
unless we want to. Because
The pastor and pastor's wife from the Antioch church
all right, let's
go streaking past the vehicle. The pastor is wearing a nun's habit, and the wife is wearing not the largest purchased appendage you've seen, but it is definitely in the running for the top 10. She's bare from the waist up and nearly bare from the waist down. And as the pastor runs by, giggling in his nun's habit, she's southern approximation of an Irish accent. Oh, darling, you know you've got some confession to do.
Oh,
And
she brought out the crucifix again. That's nice. Welcome to the Candyman's place. He says as he just kind of gestures to the happening and continues forward.
I'm just trying not to talk.
there is a lovely falsetto soprano ranged voice off in the distance, and you can hear the light applause as people won't let the performer quite finish what aria they are singing. Yet, while curiosity demands, and your conscious mind tells you, well, Joji's probably right, don't look, don't look, don't look, you do, in fact, look. And several of the Fontenot who are owed money long run out of funds and wealth is standing atop a pillory, though standing is stretching what actually is happening with their legs and appendages. Suspended from a pillory is probably most accurate, but still standing atop a pillory. His voice reaching ranges that under normal circumstances shouldn't be possible. And around them, as he hits notes because of the various manipulations of his weight atop the pillory, various members of the outlying community. Faces you haven't seen because they haven't made their way to the store in a while, or faces you haven't seen because they've neglected one or two sessions, or faces you haven't seen because, they haven't had any bulls or horses to sell to the farm. And yet here they are taking in a concert, an impromptu concert held by Torchlight, as the notes hit are clearly due to some physical discomfort, if not emotional enjoyment. Takes you a
India
few minutes to
definitely.
make it across the property. Mhm.
India definitely looks like somebody told her Christmas came early. She's eyes wide, just like looking around.
Just kind of as Joji notices the continuous kind of look of awe and stuff like that, he's like, I'm actually surprised. I thought you would be a bit more shocked.
Annabelle is
You
also
Oh, I'm
forget
sorry.
I
not
hang out
shocked
with
at all.
rodeo people.
Yeah, you know, that makes a weird kind of sense. I think you would very much enjoy Bull Night. I can take you up here for Bull Night. Don't worry, it's not like that weird. Actually get an actual bull. That'd be, yeah.
That's only on Sundays, every other month.
I'm not gonna tell them that. Well, anyways, is Lita
So,
okay? Lita,
Oh,
I
yeah, I
don't
was just wondering if they have any blood dolls here.
think.
He's ready
Wait,
for that leader is ready for that particular sport because it is in fact a sport. There are a group of martially bent members of the community who engage in ritualized scarification and combat. So whatever happens, happens. And again, it is only those who consent to such activities. There are also those who engage in red play and what have you. It is all about consent. It is all about testing and pushing one's own boundaries and one's own potential for release here at Candyman's. It is Fantasy Island combined with an all adults getaway. It is free of all of the responsibilities of your every other day doldrums. So the bank is gonna come take the property, and there's no reason to not enjoy your life, and that's what Candyman's is all about: enjoying your life, whatever your life actually is, even if it's not an actual life. Okay, so you get off because you have a service kink, so you come and you help serve others. You have writer's block, and so you need some extreme release, and you come to Candyman's. You are inundated with the pressures of modern life, and this is your escape. This is fantasy made reality, if but for a few hours, or in some cases, those who are unable to last long enough for their own personal release, a few moments, a few minutes, an escape.
So
But it's not always just physical.
yeah. Well, Lita, if you're desperate, uh, go and try and find anyone that's got a red banded choker on. Uh, that's kind of the silent sign of laceration play, and I think that'd be about the smoothest way for you to get your fill. Don't get lost,
Well, I can try.
and you know what, you're a big girl. You can handle yourself, right? Okay. Sorry.
I'll be
Anyways,
fine.
tour continuing this way.
I think before we talk to anybody, we should probably take a shower
Oh,
and get
right.
some of this stuff off.
Actually, this is perfectly fine. There are worse things that people can be covered in here.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too close to the fireplace like this.
Well, that may
Yeah. I forgot that this was kerosene. I am covered in kerosene.
You are.
Oh god. There's group showers over this way.
perfect. Thank you.
You all make your way through the crowds and making your way through the various experiences, because that's what they are. Experiences that are in the offing. You, Joji, know that. Excuse me. You know that Empress's girlfriend is there as per usual, showing off her juggling skills with the switchblades and the like that she typically juggles with, and doing her impromptu circus performance, getting oohs and ahs and oh my gods. There's Renee, who is teaching the joys of orgiastic worship. How to pray until it hurts and it feels great.
Oh.
Yes, that's nice.
Are they doing the stripper cop routine? Sorry, I've got to give a chuckle because Renee's image is very much a uniformed man.
Indubitably. All of that shock of red hair. Most people don't realize that even the skill that he uses to keep that near mid thigh length red shock of hair contained and concealed underneath his ball cap. Most people don't realize just exactly how hairy his back is either. The few times they've seen him without his shirt. But all the same, his honeyed words, his ability to move from Sumerian to Aramaic to Arabic and to small Egyptian phrases in regards to leading the prayer is the stuff of people who don't even speak Spanish are following along. People who don't even understand the difference between Spanish and Italian are able to follow along. And God forbid when he gets to the French, it is over.
And I mean, why we're here again and why we can't just join in.
You could.
Well, we need to get cleaned up, and we needed somebody that he could trust back from where we are, because he doesn't trust the people in Shreveport anymore.
No, wait a second. If that's Empress's
Oh.
girlfriend over there, we might actually be able to find Empress pretty quickly through them. Yeah.
Let's go talk to
With
them
the
then.
kerosene?
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, nobody in this room's on fire, right? Good enough.
Alright, and I guess they'll approach.
Crossing the distance, getting close enough to watch as the blades spin faster and faster. She works her way through her act. Because it is an act. It is clear that she spent time practicing Well, hopefully, just practicing to play with her blades. However, and the problem that pops into your mind is if she doesn't practice because she intends on showing off, why is she so adept with literally moving as if they're an extension of her will, seemingly to teleport from one hand to the next, seeming to flash and shine and reflect all manner of light to glint and gleam and act. It is a dizzying
Oh god.
effort to try to follow the blade specifically instead of just the overall gist of what's happening. Because there shouldn't be a way that any person is able to make that number of knives disappear, reappear, twirl, and flip through the air without losing various portions of themselves. Yet she, in fact, is. Hi there, Joji. How we doing?
We're doing not so good. Do you know where Empress is, or Candyman?
Dude, they are with some girl, Monica, up at the other house. Said they need to have a conversation.
Okay. She wouldn't happen to like wearing black leather and have curled hair?
Monica? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she's a hot little piece of tail. Dressed tight enough to understand what she had for lunch. Good thing she clearly don't eat much.
Oh. That's great. I look forward to seeing her. Thank you. You're such a help, and I love seeing your act as always.
This ain't an act. This is a fidget. But all right, thanks.
Yep. Great night. Great night. Always such a great night. Everybody, follow me. I'm gonna kill somebody.
Again?
I'm gonna kill somebody. It's just he leaves it as that as he stomps off towards the direction indicated. What? What?
Why are you gonna kill somebody this time?
Why? Why am I going to? She asks you. My house is on fire. I am covered in kerosene, and the fucking shadows are trying to eat us. What?
Okay,
No,
so
no, she's
the
great.
normal reasons, not anything she said.
Yeah, no, she's great. What?
Okay, because I thought she was great. Well, you suddenly were talking about killing people
that's
after you left, and
no.
I thought maybe it's
You'll
her,
find
maybe
out.
it's the Monica person. Who's Monica?
Wait, you should know who Monica is. Monica
I might
Wolvern?
in character, but
The
Dar doesn't
Regent?
remember. Oh, that Monica. I'm gonna pretend
Okay.
I still don't know her, because
She
fuck
is
her.
higher up. You need to give some respect. Visually. You need to visually give some respect.
I know it.
Okay.
I'm
Oh
only
god, let's hope
joking.
that this doesn't become more of a headache than it has to be.
Oh,
Actually,
but it will. It always does.
fucking Tremere. I swear to God, nobody. I'm gonna absolutely develop a disorder around Tremere based on just how my interactions with him in all of your games are going. I'm gonna have a complex. Thanks for killing them on
I mean,
sight.
that seems pretty
Yes.
reasonable for Tremere,
Yes.
though. Like, The premiere. Of course
You
you should.
probably should. You probably, yeah,
As,
yeah.
as the
There's
owner
definitely.
of multiple Tremere characters, I would like to say nope.
I feel like as the owner of
I
multiple
feel as if
premiere
somebody,
characters, you
you know,
just
as somebody who has
are
never played a
biased.
Tremere, fuck you guys. All right.
So I guess we're headed to this other house. Then.
You're
Yeah,
off to see the wizard.
the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
All of that to say is
I like
that
one of the premieres.
the lead in, the build up, the crossing of so many different streams of pleasure and pleasure seeking behavior, actions, and pursuits leaves you all salivating. It is an impossibility to not be so enmeshed in people seeking their best selves that even in the foulest of moods that it does not move you in that similar vein. And while you all are just lightly titillated and teased and moved into the proper mental space to enjoy being at the Candyman's, Lita, that is the understatement of all understatements for you. As a devout bagger, as a devout person who very seldomly engages in the hot, fresh, hedonistic, toe curling experience of feeding on the living directly. The burden of your blood and your clan makes what you engage in paralleled. Your kiss, your bite, your fangs are enough to drive most persons insane with the idea of escaping. So as you are invited into the small parlor, the shed that was once formerly a trailer, a container home of sorts, various chains and implements and furniture is designed to keep inverted, prone, or hanging from the ceiling. As the circle of associates you find yourself in not only understand how deeply they can hurt, but how deeply they can be hurt and still get to work the next day. You didn't think the Teamsters had it in them, let alone a group of Teamster bricklayers. What the hell? And yet, there you are with your just low enough that you are able to sing Fang. And when you do, the screams, the outright attempt to tear his arm out of socket to escape it, even as all of the physiological signs of pleasure explode from him. It's unlike anything else that you have ever taken part in. Because your fangs, your bite, your kiss is in fact soul searing in the amount of pain it elicits. And yet, here you are, fang deep, your victim hovering over your head, fighting with all they have to tear free, and you're able to share that moment with them. Because even as their soul is seared, you are able to enjoy and indulge in the fullness of the actual kiss. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your unspent willpower DC 4, as giving in to your hunger at this level is and could be extraordinarily detrimental.
Ruh-roh.
Hope he's not
Hmm?
too tasty.
That would be hilarious, Annabelle. She's just pretending to have never been here before, just to keep her cover.
It's just like, because like it's absolutely the kind of place where lingering kiss would be real popular.
Popular and expected.
Mm-hmm.
So while we wait on Lita's roll, making your way into the big house. Making your way into the actual center of the Candyman's empire. It is ridiculously anticlimactic. For those expecting a deep, dark, all manner of taboo are explored. It's almost the complete total opposite. The actual centerpiece of any man's empire of seeking pleasure and finding one's self is virtually a monastery, virtually a church. It is replete with Abrahamic signs of faith as well as Asiatic, Shintoism, Zen, Taoist, Buddhist, Zoroastrianism, in such an eclectic mix that it blends together into one harmonious whole of an expression of faith beyond religion. You have signs from the Satanic Church of America, you have signs from Wicca, you have signs from the Voodoo Empire of Benin, you have signs of Catholicism, Hebrewism, Judaism, you have Orthodoxy, non-Orthodox, you have pagan and full width and breadth right alongside of something from Orthodox Greek. You have signs literally from 90% of the religions from around the world. And the moment you all walk through the door, Empress bounds down the stairs, throwing her arms around you. I knew you guys would make it, and I knew the shadows couldn't keep you. Come on in, come on in. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back, Annabelle.
The shadows?
Yeah.
Hey,
Good. Have you
how's it
tried the
going?
flaming enema like you said you're going to?
Wow.
Been out
Wait,
of
you
town?
knew about the shadows?
Yeah.
W-
Is it a frequent thing nowadays?
No, not at all. Ever since you guys set the midget free, it has been really, really problematic. You weren't supposed to follow through and help them achieve their goal of getting free, but you did. So there's that.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, that's enlightening, I guess. Sorry
You
about that.
Honestly, that should have been part of the ask
you guys
if
were
you
the ones that
didn't
were
want
responsible for
anything
the
separate.
for the vision. I didn't know that. After all, if I knew you guys specifically, I probably would have told you. Unless, of course, I forgot. Did I forget?
No.
No, I ain't kidding. And Indy, your brother says hi.
She's kind of
Oh,
blinks at her.
Emperor is out again. Something about communing. I don't know what's wrong with him. So look, Monica's here. She doesn't like you. Well, she doesn't mind you, but she doesn't like you because you broke her boy toy. You guys want to
yeah.
come have a drink, or you want to talk, or well, there are other things we could do. No, wait, no, and no, Annalie's gonna be jealous tonight. Tonight's she's on her anyway. So, want to talk?
Yeah, I came to talk to Coleman. Some shit's gone down, and my house, my my everything is gone now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I told you that was gonna happen.
What? When?
7 months ago, when we were talking about you getting fire insurance, you not needing it because you had enough fire suppression systems. No one listens.
Oh, yeah. I guess I should have listened better. But yeah, I was wondering if Coleman could uh, help us out for the night and possibly see what he could figure out as to who the fuck did it.
Oh, that's
Or
easy.
oh,
Yeah, you did it.
what? What?
You did it.
What do you mean I did it?
Sure, but I
What?
know you did it. I know you pissed off someone who actually was going to follow through and take everything from you and leave you so that you were in the situation that you had to come. Anyway, look, we're not
Whoa.
blaming the victim.
Now you're
He's not.
blaming the
Joji's
victim.
not the
You
victim.
cannot do
He's the
that.
hero. You're the victim. You're the sacrifice. You're the Vestal Virgin.
What?
But you're not virgin, so I don't
What?
know why that works out the way. Oh yeah, Joji's the hero. You're the knight. Lead is the priest, and Annie, sorry dear, you're the sacrifice. Through you, remember we will get the opportunity of taking over the rest of us if someone doesn't take your place or stop you from sacrificing yourself. But eventually, you're gonna go through with it anyway, and well, that's a whole nother idea.
Has anybody been making progress on how to stop it?
Oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
Oh, think you could hook a brother up?
No, you
Okay.
don't. You're stuck. You don't have enough love yet.
Oh, yeah. I guess I kind of knew that.
Well, the only way to beat the
Sorry,
darkness
what's
is
this
with
about
light.
needing
But
love?
unfortunately, the only way to let yourself be filled with light is to accept the dark. So you have to not mourn. You have to live. And to live, you need to love. And unfortunately, as long as you're mourning, you won't ever get to love. And as long as you feel alone, you'll never get to love. And that's a whole bunch of things. To really get love, you have to understand that it comes from you and it's not from anybody else. And that's a whole different lesson. That's a pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for your insights. It, would it be would it be fine for us to talk to Coleman, or is he busy?
He's a little busy. Monica's a little demanding. She needs to let her hair down and get over the fact that somebody's tearing the chantry into three, and she can't count on who she thought she could count on, and 3 Ford is doing whatever 3 Ford is doing, and we're probably going to take it in their team. But hopefully, Angela will be the prince that we need.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to be able to give her my sympathies, but
Oh, you can give her sympathy. She's not going to believe you. She thinks you're responsible.
I would love to be responsible for any and all troubles that they are experiencing at this point in time.
Well, you are.
Thank you. You're legitimately making my night better.
Well, I try. Though if because I really don't want Emperor to die that way. I want to be responsible for him, to stop living. So, would you be so kind?
Mm-hmm.
Just potentially.
Yeah.
Because your enemy is your greatest ally in this. Um, he takes a uncomfortable step closer. Now, Empress, much like Emperor, is very, very open. Always smiling, always seeing the brighter side of whatever there was to see. Embracing things for as they were, not as they were wished to be. Yet, and when they stand close to you, you can feel electric moving in your veins. When they stand close to you, you can hear that annoying buzz of tube lights in the distance. No matter where you are, alone in the middle of a plane, standing next to a roaring river, in your car with nothing on, or in your closet in the dark with them. Standing close to them feels very much as if you are being bathed in all sorts of strange radioactive energies. It's unnerving. It's comfortable at times. And yet, she smiling brightly. The old idea, aphorism of smiling from ear to ear, and she steps in close. Close enough that you can smell that she's wearing a very lovely citrus-based parfum of some sorts. There's definitely citrus notes, maybe persimmons, and is that lilac? No, that can't be lilac. Lilac is too, but there's citrus and floral and sweetness. So, for me to be free and perfectly safe, Emperor needs to die by one of our hands. I can't tell whose hand it was. Can you guys show me your fingernails?
Sure. Just kind of the shocked compliance, like the I don't really understand what's happening right now.
Oh, you need to clean those. Why do you smell like? Why do you smell like Loris's fish fry?
My house was bathed in kerosene from a sprinkler system. I
Oh,
was bathed in kerosene from a sprinkler system.
oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Do you have a cigarette?
No.
No. Oh well. Annie, Indy, Lita, fingers, fingers, fingers. Let me see your fingers.
India holds out her hand, knowing her manicure is trash.
Here's my finger.
Oh,
My manicure was impeccable until I started clawing at nothing earlier today.
oh,
Was
no,
not
that
nothing.
won't do. Okay, so I can't help you guys any longer. None of you guys are responsible for killing my brother, unless of course you want to be. I love him, but I want him nice and safe permanently.
You
And the only
like
way
the
for that to
boy?
happen is for somebody that's one of us to make sure that he's no longer with us. Because if long as he stays on this side, then we won't be able to complete the plan. And I can't go to the other side because then I won't be able to tell him what to do. Because I don't believe in lying. So he needs to go to the other side, and he can't get there. He's not strong enough to do it himself. You guys need to help us do it for him so that he's on the other side with your brother, Indy.
Have you talked to Coleman about this?
No, we don't want to bother Coleman right now. He's making sure that Monica doesn't seek revenge against everybody. We need Monica to only go after Jackson, because if Monica goes after anybody but Jackson, she'll probably win. We need her to lose. It's a house of cards made of glass.
Oh. So are you? I don't. Are you and Coleman? You guys are supporting the shuffling of the deck up in Shreveport, right?
We don't have a choice in that. If we don't, then we'll get swept under too. Again, the whole point is to survive. Because as long as you survive, you can build your own happiness afterwards. But if you don't survive, you can't build any happiness afterwards. There's no point in dying just to die. We need to make sure that we win, not them, not the bad guys, not all of you other who don't care. Because if we win, we'll get a chance to make sure that Ms. Carlson Garcia gets back to power. Because she's not going to quietly go along with this. And she didn't realize that Monica and Liam, despite all of their supposed loyalty, are actually part of the whole thing going on in Shreveport. Fucking Tremere. I hate them all.
I'm.
So, I need you. Who's going to volunteer to kill my brother so we can make sure that we win?
I don't want to, but if it's I don't want to, but
What kind of killing
There's only
are we
one
talking
kind.
about?
That's the permanent
kind or the coming back?
We got to end the physical so that he goes into the spiritual. Because he can lie. And with him being on the other side, him lying to me to help me means that, well, we need to stack everything just right so that when all the cards fall and shatter into 1,000,001 pieces, the pieces are big enough for us to put back together. Because we're going to lose. But we can only lose for a very small amount of time. And you need to find love so that you don't sacrifice yourself completely. Somebody else has to stop that. But that's another matter entirely. First things first, we need to make sure that the king is dead. He's hiding from
Where's
me.
your brother?
He think
Oh.
because you
Well,
know
how
where
am I
he's at.
supposed to
He's
kill
at
him
your
if I can't
office.
find him? Oh, lovely. Great.
I need.
No, not yet. We got a party.
Seems like
So,
we're going to my place.
You guys should probably go find Lita right about, and she looks at her wrist where there is no watch. And you can hear her counting the seconds under her breath. You should, in 10. You should get there in 10. Because she's going to be facing a battle of faith. And only someone who cares for her will be able to save her from sending that soul screaming into hell.
I don't think we're supposed to send
And this
anybody
is
here
not
screaming
a
into
soul
hell
we're
in front of
supposed to send
anybody.
screaming into
Thank
hell?
you for your help. We'll, I guess, get around. Either way, we gotta go. With that, he'll kind of break off and start frantically looking for the soon-to-be blood sport.
India just kind of sighs, turns around, and trudges away.
Finding Lita is not all that hard. There are screams and peals of joy all throughout in several places at once. People clapping because they're seeing some of the best entertainment that they could possibly see for no cost to their pocket. People engaging and indulging in all sorts of play that would not normally be possible for them. People receiving and giving things that they might not otherwise consider receiving or giving. And underneath it all, mixed and mingled within it, is a cry from an adult that is so impassioned that you are hard pressed to believe that the owner of that cry would live to see tomorrow. It is hard to believe that whoever owns that voice in that amount of pain might even survive tonight. Yet, because of all of the noise, the cacophonous sound of persons finding themselves and exploring the world around them, plumbing their depths and others, most people don't hear it for what it is. You all, as kindred, so close to the very edge as you are, know what that sound is. You feel it in the core of your being. Your inner predator understands. Lights begin to dim. And Lita, there is a fixed point, a tipping point for everything when you reach the point where the only outcome is definitive. You're not sure where you got the reserve of strength from, but you managed to not reach the tipping point. You're like, considerably more than what was allotted, and yet you managed to not end your victim. Hunger down to hunger one. As you all burst through the door into the space, the container home that has been changed into a place for indulging in all manner of red play, you find Lita, her mask, move forward up onto her forehead as her head is angled back and looking skyward, almost as if she's in prayer. And above her head, hanging from a raised platform, is her victim of choice, leaking and screaming into the ether. The wound where Lita bit them, still free flowing. Their associates believing this is all part of the act, playing along. Not understanding that, yes, that soul-searing scream that escaped their friend and associate was 100% actual. Go ahead and click that little red button for me, Lita.
Oh shit.
As you all enter, as Lita is staring into all of their existence, it very much does look like she's in supplication, as if she's staring into heaven in prayer.
You guys are up. I
what?
don't know it well enough to do the love thing.
India.
And you just crosses the distance. She didn't really even stop. She saw where Lita was and kind of weaved through everybody and just kept going to get close. Standing in front of Lita, snapping. You gotta lick it closed.
Good advice.
What?
3 times in as many hours, Lita, as you come face to face with your other. That's 3 times in as many hours when the beckoning of the dark amounted to nothing for you. That's 3 times where you see how much farther and deeper the depths of you might reach. All of your training and time to control yourself clearly paying dividends in the moment. Because not only did you deprogram yourself long enough to take a bite, not only did you deny your future potential, yet in this moment when your inner voice, your truer self demands more, you're able to wrestle it back within control, to put it back on its leash. It's not a small feat. And like everything, such moments of victory have their the other blade that cuts deep. And as you let the wound close, you realize with the amount of blood that you've taken from this one particular person, without medical assistance, there is no tomorrow for them. So you might as well go ahead and finish them off. Take a bite again. Finish them. End them. Save them from the painful exsanguination of their existence. After all, you've taken too much blood, but it's not just the blood. You know that what you, as a member of the kindred, do is not just taking the blood, it is taking the energy of their life, it is taking a portion of their soul each and every time. That's the trade-off for the kiss. And you've drunken too deeply of that ineffable something, that invisible portion of them, their soul. But no one else does yet. And you don't have to tell them. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Just keep it to yourself, right? That's your burden to bear, not theirs.
I'll lick the guy's wounds close. I probably need to get him to the hospital. I think I probably got a little too carried away.
Then that is what we shall do.
He's got friends, and his friends care about him, don't they? And she looks at his friend.
Wait, you guys weren't playing? This was serious? Holy shit.
He's a little dehydrated and maybe a little anemic, and they'd fix him up at the hospital real quick. So you might want to take your friend.
You probably. Yeah. Sorry,
You
go
want to take your
ahead.
friend, get him a little bit of liquids. He'll be fine as long as you take him.
There are safety protocols in place. Most of the people who give blood or engage in red plague don't realize just what's at stake every time they do. Everyone believes that they're going to be the one to survive. They're going to live forever. Blah, blah, blah. People who will. That's where you all are in this moment with this particular group of persons. They didn't and don't realize how real what they've been doing actually is. And as you all unmask that truth for them, and they have to deal with the ramifications of their fantasies taking such a large portion of their being, and they struggle and frantically begin trying to bring their friend down. I thank you all for a lovely episode, and see you guys next time. Good
Hell
night,
yeah.
folks.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Ooh.